So, welcome back to the Michael Rollins Show, and today we are talking again to Zoroe, and this time we're talking about how Zoroe got into the drone community in general. And really, honestly, it's a great story. I think you're going to enjoy it. Here's an interesting tidbit. I don't like to build, and he doesn't like to build, but we still both managed to fly. Anyways, I hope you guys really enjoy how Zoroe got started in FPV. Talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you a man also known as Zoroe. But hold on, I don't feel 100% complete here. I feel like I need a little bit of spice for the interview.
I gotta go. I'm just kidding.
I mean, the troll hair isn't going to intimidate you, is it?
Is that what that is? It's a troll?
I don't know, man. I found this. So I actually have done a lot of like stage work for kids. Mm-hmm. This hair is like gold. I can put this hat on. Lads and lasses, I can put this hat on and I can talk with a Scottish accent and everybody breaks out laughing. So, all right, I'll take it off now. I just wanted to put it on for you, because everybody, I put it on for Tyler's intro, and everybody was commenting on it, so it was pretty funny. But in all seriousness, Tyler Brennan. Tyler who? He's this little guy. I mean, I don't know. He's some dude that runs something called like QRD.
Yeah, QRD.
Yeah. Quest Race Day, something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So something like that. So here we are. We're with the man who probably needs no introduction whatsoever, Zoroe, and he is coming to us from bright and sunny California. And now is that your logo behind your head?
There's my logo.
I like it.
Great, awesome subscriber made that for me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
It's pretty dope. He made me a metal one, too, which is on the other wall.
That's awesome. Amazing. Yeah. So, like, I mean, now I admit I did not look at your subscriber count. It must be pretty significant. Or either that or you're, like, very well loved.
Or I do a lot of giveaways. No, actually, I don't do a lot of giveaways at all. I have like 4,500, a little over 4,500. So.
Okay, that's awesome.
You look at my subscriber count?
Man, I'm sorry. I you know what? I wanted it to be pure. It's not about the numbers, Zoroe.
I'm gonna have to call my agent.
Oh man. So in all seriousness, though, you have a very lively YouTube following. And people really seem to enjoy you. And like there's figures in FPV that are in a lot of ways polarizing. There's very few people that everybody just likes. And I feel like you're one of those rare people that everybody just likes. That just you seem to get along well with everybody. And whether it's on camera, off camera, I mean, we're going to talk about boiled peanuts at some point. So tell me a little bit about you and a little bit about how you got into FPV, because you're not only a really likable guy, but you're also a pilot and a good pilot.
Oh, okay. So yes, I have a great, my subscribers, I seriously love them all. Like, they're my real friends. Like, I know them, each one, Mm-hmm. And they're great. I mean, there's a video, I have my phone number up. Like, you just call me, and it's just crazy. I like to interact with them. I myself am a fan of many YouTube channels and people and podcast people and actors and whatever. So I put myself in their shoes. I totally get it. And, I want to be that, I want to actually interact with my subs, and I enjoy it. I think I'm pretty lucky that I look at other channels, and some of the pilots are a little more technical. Sometimes their subscribers I mean, they're great and everything, but they're not as like personal. You know what I mean? I get people that are like, "You, thank you. You know, you brightened my day. You made me laugh. You know, whatever." And that's kind of like the point why I keep making it, because I love the interaction and you know everything about that. So that's where I'm at. Michael,
Yes.
hold on one second. Can I grab a Pepsi real quick?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Go get a Pepsi. Go get a Pepsi. You're good.
Okay, I'll fix this.
I'll be right here. I'll be hold my fingers. Look, I was getting ready to talk to Zoroe here, and the goldfish were calling my name. But these are the like nasty flavor blast pizza goldfish, and they're awful. And I'm here to tell you, you do not need to eat these goldfish. They are
no, they're disgusting.
They are absolutely disgusting. They actually smell a little bit like throw up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they taste just like that. Wow.
Yeah. So all right. So getting back into, are you settled? Ready? All right. So it is. I have noticed. So you know, I think not a lot of people are unaware of it at this point. I interviewed Chad Capper. That led to a bunch of other interviews, and it led to my subscriber count growing pretty explosively. I put on about 1,000 subs in like 28 days. And
yep.
I, like you, I feel like each of these people is a person, and they deserve my respect. They deserve my interaction. They deserve my time, especially if they comment, they take the time to say, hey, thank you for making this. I have folks that reach out to me on a regular basis, you know, on like YouTube Messenger or Facebook Messenger. And how does that play out when there's 4,500 versus 1,000?
Yeah, I always wondered that too before. And I mean, 4,500 is really not that much, but I can see how having like 20,000 or 100,000 would just be unmanageable. So I tend to comment right when the video comes out, like just with the first few. And then I just let the, you know, comments go and stuff, and I scan through them, and I kind of like, I don't stress myself out over it. I just, you know, talk to them. You know, I have free time, so I'll go to the comments, but I'll try to like at least, you know, like everybody's comment or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, having like a huge YouTube following would be probably like unmanageable at some point, where you just like whatever. And what's funny is that I've noticed, you know, like I've heard people or whatever, or even I used to think, oh, you know, I commented on this person's YouTube video and they never said anything back, and kind of like, oh, they're stuck up or whatever. And I don't think that's the case necessarily. I think that, you know, you got to consider how many fucking people comment, and you know, just. Yeah, you can't check them all. So
yeah, no, that's absolutely, you know, it's funny because I talked to Drew Camden a little bit about it, and he's at like some I mean, it's still not YouTube huge, but for FPV, he's at a very large following, and you know, it's just there's just not enough time in the day to respond to everybody, and I think I take the tack that you do, which is I attempt to at least, you know, thumbs up and like every comment that comes through, assuming it's not a complete asshat that's you know,
totally
that is saying something. It's like, come on, man.
Totally.
Now, do you get trolls? Do you get many of them?
So I'm kind of like the lord of the trolls. So I don't get trolls at all. Actually, I get like 0 trolls. Because I usually am the one that's trolling, so you know, and I don't mind it. And I think, you know, that's a good point as well. Like if I scroll through and somebody has made like a meaningful comment, I will take the time to kind of like reply back.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's kind of like a effort thing. So yes, sir.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'll let comments build up for a few days, and then I'll go through and just kind of like strafe through them for like an hour. And
just have to spend that bathroom time just go straight for it.
Dude,
Gonna
and
wait
the
for it to
hemorrhoids. The
Yeah.
hemorrhoids. I mean, it's like you can tell every YouTuber based on the
Yeah.
preparation age that they have. Yeah, that's absolutely awful. Now you told me that you have a unique origin story in terms of how you started flying FPV. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. And I don't think I've ever really talked about this, so you get the exclusive,
All
Michael Rollins.
right, I like that.
Yeah, you get the exclusive. You're like getting all close.
All right, let's go. Come on.
I think that okay. So I worked at Pandora 2 years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever. And during the time, I was going through a divorce. I was married for like 13 years, and
Mm-hmm.
that was whatever divorce. And then my dad passed away during that time as well, and like dementia, all this crazy stuff. My whole world was like blah, upside down. Um, but I wanted to kind of like have a little hobby. I tend to jump from thing to thing. I
Mm-hmm.
rarely like stick with one thing because I get bored really easily,
Mm-hmm.
especially if I feel like I've kind of like gotten to know what I want to know about it. Like I'll be really curious about something. I'll get into it, find out what I want to find out, and usually I get bored and then I just leave. Um, which hasn't happened in like 2 years, so that's amazing. Uh, so I worked at Pandora, and Pandora was really cool, and like the vibe's super cool, and it just like, I mean, it's techie, but also like it just had a super cool vibe. So I had an RC car, like a drift car, and I
Mm-hmm.
put a GoPro on it, like a little session on it, and I used to like just go through the halls and like skid out and whatever, just to like mess around. Um, and my boss is like, "Oh, you like RC stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he's been flying FPV since like when it first started. He's one of the old school guys,
Mm-hmm.
and he's an awesome pilot, freaking great at everything. And he told me about drones, and I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, like drones to me, they're kind of like not my style. It's kind of like boring, you know, whatever. I didn't know anything about it. So he took me to a conference room, and he had his fat sharks, and he had a little tiny whoop, and I saw it through it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was looking at the radio. I'm like, this radio is like this big, and that's to control the tiny whoop, and the batteries only last for 2 minutes. I just thought it was super like dumb. I didn't really find any like excitement to it. And then after a while, I kind of got sick of the RC car. I mean, I've been messing with RC cars since I was like little, so it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing new. But I kind of got like sick of it. It didn't have a lot of depth to it. So I went to a hobby shop for like an RC car, and then I was looking at the drones, and I was asking the hobby shop guy to tell me a little more about like what my options are, and he was completely no help at all. I almost bought like one of those bigger than Phantom ones, like the
Oh
super
God.
that comes in the suitcase and stuff. It was like
Oh my God.
$2,000. So I was like, I didn't want to do that. Luckily, he didn't have it in stock because who knows what would have happened if I went that route. But he had oh my God, the immersion RC, like the old school, well, not old school, but it was the before the Mojo. I forgot what it was called, but it was the oh my
Mm-hmm.
God version, like ready to fly. So I bought a Spectrum radio. I bought the goggles. I bought the drone, and I was like, cool. I'm just gonna try it out. And so I tried it out, and I'm like, I couldn't fly with the goggles on at all. I couldn't understand what was happening. So
Right.
I tried line of sight, and I actually have video of it where I'm like barely getting like chopped off because
Oh
it's really
God. Yeah.
hard to control. But I got really obsessed with learning how to control this thing, like
Mm-hmm.
completely obsessed. I got a what do you call it? A simulator, and it wasn't even like a cool simulator like the ones that we have now that you just
Mm-hmm.
download. I forgot what it was called, like Phoenix something. I don't know. It was more about
Okay.
like had airplanes and all this other stuff. But he had the drone stuff, and I was glued on it, trying to understand like how does this thing like fly. So while that was happening, I was hanging out with my boss at work because he's like a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He actually works at Facebook now too, so we're like,
Oh, okay. There you go.
I
Right.
work for
Okay.
him there.
Yeah.
Uh, but we got to hang out, going out at lunch and like flying with him a little bit, just trying to, or like watching him fly and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
learning about it. And then I saw that he had a channel, and he showed me his channel, and I was like, he had like 600 something subs, and I was like, whoa, he has like 600 subs? That's crazy. I just didn't
Right.
know enough at the time. Um, so I started getting like really, that's one thing with me. I get like really obsessed with stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and my attention, I have great attention when I'm like on one thing and I can work tirelessly, but
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to keep my attention if I'm not interested, which is ADHD basically. uh,
Yeah.
pretty much the definition.
Yeah.
Um, so I got to see his channel and I was like, this is interesting because I used to mess around with like video, and I really wanted to. I've always wanted to make videos, but I never had a subject matter that was video worthy. Like an
Okay.
anchor. Like I'm gonna go do
Mm-hmm.
this today, like an anchor, because I do all kinds of different things, and it's like all over the place. Um, so okay, I started to like watch videos, started to watch like Mr. Still videos, and I was like, what? And then like Rotorite stuff, and I was like, oh my god, this is like it's a whole like world. So I was watching it actually with my wife in the living room, and I think this is where it's kind of unique because I told her like as a joke that I'm gonna have like everybody know who I am within a year. I was like, watch this, and it was just like a personal challenge to me to not. And I've never really like done that where I'm like, this is like an industry. What happened is like I saw a huge lack in anything lighthearted. It was super serious. It's like I'm a drone pilot and like Mr. Steel and everybody's like, super elite and like drone pilot and freestyle. So to me, that was pretty funny because I'm like, okay, it's a
Mm-hmm.
drone. You know what I mean? Like, so calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, I've been a troll all my life pretty much. I mean, well-mean troll. I don't
Right.
like people's feelings.
Not the mean
Uh,
kind.
yeah, that's a mean kind. I mean sometimes, but whatever. So, what is deserved, I tend to go off. So I don't know. So I got into, I got more like, I want to start making videos that are not like that. I don't want. I didn't like the way I felt when I was watching videos and it's like there's this like elite kind of thing that you can't get close to because you don't understand it. You're not a skilled, you're not, whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make something that somebody would watch and like feel welcome. Like they wouldn't, or you'd be like, okay, there's a silly side or there's a not so serious side, necessarily. So and that's always been kind of like how I am anyway. So I started making videos that were not like other FPV videos like at all. They were like really
Mm-hmm.
weird. Actually, I want to go back and watch them like, whoa, this, it's pretty weird. But whatever. I was experimenting. I was having fun, which is still I am. And so I told my wife, I was like, watch this. I'm gonna like have them know who I am within like a year. And it wasn't. I know it sounds like super narcissistic or whatever, but it was just a personal challenge. Like, can I break into this industry and have people actually
Right.
like know who I am? So, I ordered a Rotor Riot, a quad from Rotor Riot. It was the Alien 6-inch pre-built because I didn't know a lot about building. I mean, I still kind of don't, but it
Mm-hmm.
just turns me off completely. Uh,
I
but
hate building, by the way.
oh my god, I hate it
I,
so much.
like, there, and I don't mean to break into your story, but I, I have both my sons that want to fly, and I don't mind repairing
Right.
because I can typically troubleshoot. I can typically figure out what's wrong, or if a motor needs replacing, or ESC, whatever. God, I hate building. I hate
Yeah.
just starting from scratch and with a new frame and new composer. Anyways, go on.
I've never made a quad from scratch ever.
I don't think
Luckily,
there's anything wrong with that.
no, that's the whole thing. With the eliteness, people online they're like, well, everybody should know. And I love soldering. I can solder up like super well.
Mm-hmm.
But and I used to be like a jeweler in my past life, so I understand how like solder works. Although this
Mm-hmm.
is totally different. So I'm not scared of that part. But there's like all this like elite kind of talk online is like, oh, you gotta know how to fix your quad. It's like you don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car. So why do you have to be like you have to know how to work on quads to work on them? Because if something breaks, then you don't get to fly. It's not like you're gonna like have
Mm-hmm.
people's lives at stake or something. People take it a
Right.
little too serious, I think. It's like, if you don't feel like building, great. There's like rate to flight shit. And if it breaks, then you're on your own, whatever. So I ordered the 6-inch Alien from Rotor Riot, and I got it. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh my God, I hope this doesn't work. Just because I wanted to make like a video about it. So I opened it, set it up, do everything, and one of the ESCs is like flashing, and I can't, it's not like one of the motors isn't spinning. I was like, yes! I was like, this is awesome. So I was like, watch this. So I made this like video about how excited I was. That's when my videos, I think, started like taking shape and kind of like who I am. So,
Uh-huh.
uh, I made a whole like unboxing video. I'm like super stoked, and then I go to fly it, and then it's like, "Hello, darkness, my old friend," and like everything's just fucked. So, so I make a video about it, and this is before everybody started complaining on like the
Right.
Rotor page. What's wrong with
Mm-hmm.
everything? So I still had like a pretty big voice because nobody was
Right.
really doing that. So I went out there and I was like, this happened, and I actually I didn't even post it on Rotor, right? But I named the video and I hashtagged exactly like
Right.
Rotor Right and all this stuff. And Chad Capper hit me up, and he's like right away, and that's when I first got a taste of Chad. That sounds really bad, but that's when I got my first taste of Chad.
Right.
Because he's like a really, really great dude. I mean, and
Yeah.
people have perceptions of who he is. I've spent like hours with him. Like I got to know him pretty well, and he's just like always a super solid guy, like throughout. Like
Mm-hmm.
if, no matter what mood he's in, whatever, he's like a solid ass guy. So he hit me up, super great. He's like, "Yeah, send it back, we'll fix it." I sent it back, and then after like a little while, they sent it back to me, and it still didn't work. So I was like, "Oh shit, another video." So I'm making, and I didn't like sabotage it, but I wasn't like super upset either because
Yeah.
I barely knew how to fly, so I wasn't like, "Oh, I need
Yeah.
to fly."
Right.
So I made another like follow up video, and he got one of the flight test guys to like video with me to kind of like show him what's wrong and
Uh-huh.
everything. He
Yeah.
went totally out his way, totally fixed. He sent it back. I got to fly it. That was like one of my first great quads. It was like awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but that was like so now I knew it was strategic. Like I needed some kind of like entry point to like get in
Mm-hmm.
contact.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like this. You could call this episode "Trolling Your Way to the Top." I'm just kidding.
Trolling your way to the top, and
Well,
we
I got
have a
that.
title.
Not
We
that,
have a
but
title, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. So yeah, I got his attention. Then I was at like Safeway, and I had my session in my pocket, and I was like, dude, I just had this like idea. I'm gonna make this video without a quad at all. I'm gonna use like the shopping cart as a quad and use like quad sounds. So I made like a first person review with the shopping cart, like a super stupid video. And Chad saw it, and actually he just mentioned it like last month, and he said
Uh-huh.
that that's the reason why he fell in love with me. It's like that video. And what's funny also is that that's the only time I've been featured on Rotor Riot, and it was for not flying at all. It was a shopping. That's pretty fucking awesome. And I don't know if anybody else has ever been featured without a quad involved, but so yeah, he featured it. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. That's super
That's
cool.
awesome.
So I started getting a little bit more eyes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on and still making my silly, stupid videos. And then I came across Bot Grinder, and I was like, oh my god, this is like my dude. Like this is the kind of like
You,
he's
you
like
you
one of my friends.
you guys were like separated at birth, I think.
Maybe we were. Well, I don't know if we were birthed. I think we were made in a lab, and that's where we were stored.
Right? Okay.
We do. We actually have a lot of similarities, and he's a
Yeah.
super awesome guy. Um, and so I was watching one of his live. I was watching. It was one of his first live streams. I
Mm-hmm.
do believe it was his first one. And sorry. Also, this is sponsored by Diet Pepsi.
Not sponsored. Not
Oh
sponsored.
yeah, fly harder. Oh shit, sorry. Uh, so I'm watching Bot Grinder, and I saw that you can donate money. I was like, oh shit, you can like donate money? This is fucking awesome. So again, my wife happens to be in the living room, and I was like, babe, I was like, watch this. This is gonna be my best return on investment ever. And I
Mm-hmm.
said it like as a total joke, and I sent him $20, and I still have it like on video and stuff. And he's like, dude, you just sent me $20. That's awesome. He didn't even realize that you could get money, and now he like rolls like every time he has a live stream. It's awesome. So, and he's the one that really like pushed for me, I think, and it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't because of the money, and he actually didn't want to mention it while just because I just give him the money. I just wanted to like use the money as like, hey, I'm here, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
he totally went out of his way, and he's like, I love this content. It's just really different. You guys should check it out, whatever. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I mean, for sure, that's what got everything like rolling. And then
Mm-hmm.
he started like the people that watch him like watching me as well is like the same type
Mm-hmm.
of like, person. And yeah, and it's been growing ever since. And now I'm at, it's been 2 years and it's been 4,500. I've kind of like backed off a little bit from trying too much to like about the subscriber thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, let it like, you know, bother me or control my
Yeah. Yeah.
content. But it does let you know that you're on the right track. Like people are like, "Oh, subscribers don't matter." Well, they kind of do
They
because
do.
it's yeah. And that's the other thing as well. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but
Go
that's
for it. No, you're good, man.
um when I started, I was aware that I suck at flying, right? So like I'm looking at myself. I'm like, okay, I'm not. People will not want to watch me fly. So I had to. I'm like, if I expect people to watch this and subscribe to my channel, I need to give them something. So it's either
Mm-hmm.
gonna be better music and some like funny shit, and then there's some flying, but you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
rely on. I'm not like watch my flying video because I am aware that I suck, so I'm not gonna like expect that. And I think that when you do start growing and you can kind of see that you're on the right track,
Mm-hmm.
if people want to watch it, that's great. If they want to subscribe to you,
Yeah.
that means you're doing something that people want to watch. So it's not everything, but it's also an indication of, you know, going the right.
Well, it's and it's not just it is, to your point, it's not just the number of subscribers that you have. It's also, like you were saying, the interaction that you have with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like all of a sudden the same people start showing up in your
Yep.
videos time after time, and you start to have interactions with these people, and you start to kind of get to know them
Yeah.
almost. It's a really
Totally.
weird. It's kind of an odd thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely it's very hard to explain the way it
The
feels until
dynamic.
you've actually, yeah, the dynamic is hard to explain to somebody who's like, oh, well, that's stupid,
Mm-hmm.
but it is like, I actually, there's quite a few folks that I interact with on a regular basis now, and it's really great to get like encouragement from out of the blue,
Yes,
where
it is.
somebody's just like, hey man, look, I really liked what you did today. That was probably the highlight of my day. Thank you very much.
Right.
And it's like, oh man, like I actually made somebody feel good.
It feels
Like that.
great.
Yeah, it does. So I definitely like, and there's the subscriber count doesn't matter insofar as it's just a way to track. You know, if you just had subscribers with no interaction,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that would be that would be some kind of weird empty YouTube existence.
Yeah.
But but I guess the way thing I'm going about is, when you have this YouTube channel that you're curating, you're actually creating a community around what you're curating.
Yeah.
And that is the fun part. That's where it gets really fun.
Absolutely. And
So,
that's the thing, like with my friends as well. Like I had in all my friendships, like the people that I've always actually been, one-on-one friends with,
hmm
I have this kind of like relationship with them that I'm always who I am. Like I don't put it
hmm
on for videos or anything. but I always get like the same kind of reaction. Like I like to people make people laugh, and it's
Hmm.
like a very like crazy, ADHD, whatever, like kind of relationship. But my friendships are like super strong,
Hmm.
and I always thought like if I'm like I don't, it's not like I'm wasting it, but it would be great if somebody else could benefit from it. Like if I could, you know, like I'm not trying to like make it big or I think it's a very scary thought if you really think about like what a lot of us are asking for is like getting the fame or whatever.
Hmm.
If you really think about what that entails or what that could look like, it could be a very bad situation as well. Like a very
Yeah.
not, pleasing situation. You're basically getting all the negatives of being like an actor without any of the positives. Like you're not getting
Right.
the actor money, you're not getting the actor like everything, security
Hmm.
or anything, but you're exposing yourself just as much as, somebody in that public eye would. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I really like FPV because it's like I rather have a thing in a small community than to be completely like balls out, like and get all the I just don't want to taint that relationship I do have with my subscribers. Like it's just
Yeah.
so great. I was actually thinking today, like if I stayed at 4,500 forever, like
Hmm.
with the people that I have now, I would be completely happy. And I would make videos every day just for them. You know what I mean? Like it just makes
Right.
me happy. Um,
There's
yeah.
a. Have you ever heard of the principle of the? It's something. It's called like the true 1,000 subs or true 1,000 fans.
Mm-mm.
Where yeah, so I'm part of a community called the No Small Creator. It's it was started by this guy named Cody Warner. In case you do much YouTubing, and in it they talk about you're finding that true 1,000 fans, right?
Mm.
Where you can have 100,000 subscribers, but really what you're ultimately doing this for is that true core 1,000 people,
Right.
right? And I think that's
Yeah.
what you're really getting at is that like if you were to blow this thing up to the point where it is no longer like there's no longer a component of you interacting meaningfully with your fans because they are fans, um, then why would you be doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could see if you wanted to, like, having the vision of what you want out of it is really important instead of just like
Hmm.
throwing it out there because it kind of helps you narrow down a lot of things as well
Yeah.
and the kind of content you make or whatever. Um, so and I fully agree. I think that having just this community, and I know that people look forward to my videos, like the ones that say so. And
Right.
to me, that's what actually drives me because I want to make something fun for them to watch. Like
Yeah.
it's perfect. So yeah,
So there you have it. Zoro is quite the interesting character. I think it's hysterical that he basically trolled his way to the top. There's a part of me that really truly enjoys that aspect of the story, and he's really honestly like he's just a great guy, right? Like everybody loves him, everybody enjoys him, and I mean, no one else could have trolled their way to the top quite like he did. So, good job, Zora. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.